This is the sound of Chinese people chanting for their ruling Communist Party and its leader, Xi Jinping, to stand down. These are momentous events. Whatever this unrest leads to, it is already hugely significant. Not for more than 3 decades has China's authoritarian government been challenged like this. The immediate cause of the unrest, an apartment fire in Urumqi in China's far west that killed several and was made worse, it's believed, because of the COVID lockdown. But anger has been building for months at China's zero COVID policy. It's relied on lockdowns more than vaccines and seen millions stuck in their homes for weeks on end. We've glimpsed outbursts of that anger and protest, but these have always been dealt with swiftly by the authorities. Before last month's Communist Party Congress, a banner appeared in Beijing. "We need food, not COVID tests," it read. "We want freedom, not lockdowns." Now the same words are being chanted on the streets of Beijing, becoming the slogans of protesters over the last few days, shouted at police. Observers say China's government is facing an unprecedented threat.
It's not a protest at the Communist Party per se. So say it's a protest at mismanagement and incompetence. At the moment, there are a number of cities that have entered into protests. If that spreads and spreads and spreads, well, then you really have a kind of, protest infection, basically, and that's really hard to deal with.
The Chinese haven't come out en masse to challenge their governments since the pro-democracy protests of the 80s. Then tens of thousands in cities across China demanded more freedom and reform. This was the government's response, sending in troops and tanks, massacring protesters in the heart of their capital. How to respond this time will be down to this man, China's authoritarian leader, Xi Jinping, recently entrenched in the job for an unprecedented 3rd term. China's massive state security apparatus is already in action, trying to crush the unrest. But COVID is likely to spike after this, and the government's policies to control it have failed. If the pandemic escalates, unrest is likely to as well, whatever the government does to try and stop it. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News.